Conniving here, coming to you from MechWarrior Online, and so we're about to fast forward this, and all you're going to really see in this first couple of minutes is, the first 2 minutes and 50 seconds and 11 milliseconds is going to be me unlocking stuff. Now, like I said, I fast forwarded this, but I kept it here so that you could see what I used in case if you wanted to replicate it. I don't know. Anyways, I set a few priorities. The main thing was I needed to run colder. Everything had to be colder. I still did the ballistic magazine enhancements. This is somewhat nice to have, particularly if you're only going to spend like a couple tons anyway. You might as well get the most for your buck. Lasers had to shorten their duration, had to make sure they run colder, so cutting down heat generation. Had to enhance the mobility just a little bit, since a lot of the firepower is focused on the torso. The torso had to move just a little bit faster. And of course, armor. Since it no longer has the structure quirks that it used to have, I focused mainly on armor enhancements, thus beefing up the armor and therefore making it more tanky, like a hunchback should be. I mean, if you compare it to Battletech, while most mediums have okay amounts of armor, you know, even the so-called tanky Centurions are only in like the 200 range, if you use MechWarrior's online scale of armor, that is. Meanwhile, the Hunchback is at 320. All the Hunchbacks are at 320. And the only medium mech of 50 tons that has higher armor is a Centurion AL, and that thing is a freaking tank. Meanwhile, many 60-ton mechs have 320, approximately. Some a bit less. And some, like the Dragon, have more armor than most 85-ton mechs. But we don't get that kind of tankiness here in MechWarrior Online, and it sucks so bad. Alright, Conniving here, I'm back. This next video was going to be part 3 alongside what I already have shown you. However, it honestly isn't worth the whole video. So instead, what I'm going to show you is the highlight here, where I end up trying to find a position where I'm not alongside the front line so that I am not the focus of enemy fire. However, the enemy was paying attention and somebody was watching the flank, and so he came around and decided to greet me. And this is the power of the skill tree gone a little too far. This, between the actual effects of the skill tree and using throttle decay, this guy is able to... Did you see that? Did you see that? He's able to just pop out, disappear, pop out, disappear. You know, he didn't give two fucks. Not enough time to shoot him, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm just...
And that is fantastic and useful and everything else, but at the same time, it defies the laws of physics. He is 20 fucking tons. Try to stop a car that's not even a single ton. Try to stop a half-ton car. And you tell me if you can stop that fucking fast. Now, when you're running, tell me, can you stop like that? And you're not even 20 tons. Hell, you're not even a fraction of a ton. Most likely. And yet, this guy can just... Like, what the fuck? Hey, little one. And I decided that this is a very bad exchange. there's nothing fair about what's going on here. So instead, what I decided to do is I just zip, turn around, and I go. I would rather take on 5 or 6 enemies all at once than have an exchange with a Locust like this. So if you're a Locust pilot, maybe that's what you should aim for. And if you're not, maybe you should avoid an exchange like this, because this is just bad. But anyways, moving on. So earlier while doing the skills, I forgot to show you the quirks that I gained from putting on these skills. Now you can kind of quickly compare here the old skills to the new skills, and yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the loadout entirely. And we're just going to fast forward through this. And zip, zoom, done. If you need to, pause the screen so that you can see the loadout, because like I said, we're done. Pew! Loading! And now we're on Canyon Network, and this match is the perfect scenario for a hunchback. The environment is just right. The situation is just right. The health is just right. Everything worked perfectly in this match. And yes, for some reason, for all of the 4H videos, I couldn't get a single match on an American server. Mostly Oceanic and European, and for some reason my ping was so much worse on the European servers. I don't know why. I'm East Coast. I should be closer to the European server. Yeah. Moving on. Skipping about 2 minutes in so that all the pacing and blah 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 NASCARing is done. For the most part. We get around this corner and we begin our engagement, and everything just works perfectly from this.
Acquired.
All the enemies are focused on the light because the light was just too cocky. Make use of this. If that light has got himself into that situation, get in there. Take advantage of it. He is practically sacrificing himself so that you can kick some ass. Do so, and maybe you'll save him too. Or he'll blame the entire team, but you know, that's his own fault. Anyways, the team did in fact engage and take advantage of this, and this is perfect. You got your heavies front lining here. Granted, it'd be nice if there was an assault up there, but the 3 heavies are more than sufficient for what we need. We got the Marauder, a Summoner, and a Jaeger mech. That's your tankers and your heavy firepower and cannon fodder. Cannon fodder being the Summoner. Anyways, with everybody distracted on those, I took the advantage. I moved ahead so that I am not in the firing lane of most of the enemies, and I could focus on the one guy that was on the front line that is weakened. And so I take care of him. I start to work on these lighter mechs in the background, for example this urban mech, but I am fully aware that there is an invisible wall there, and I tested it just to be sure. Sure enough there was, so I gave up on the urban mech and moved on. Do not waste your time on things you cannot hit, because the entire fight can turn by you not paying attention. So we move in, start engaging enemies. I take this opportunity to see if perhaps the light mechs should be dealt with. However, our team is doing their job. The light mechs are engaging the light mechs and pushing them on. So we are moving in, and my little baby's getting tired. And I find myself a little spot to stand or climb, and so I go in the third person to show you exactly how I'm getting up these steps. Got a zigzag along. And now I am about to show you inner sphere superiority. We're going to take out a Kodiak, face to ass. And I'm just gonna rip him a new one because inner spheres are overpowered. Anyways, once he's taken care of, I try to get the Timberwolf off the high ground and realize that there is a Nova shooting me in the backside. What I should have done is stay put. I was in a great position, but I wanted to make sure I could focus on the enemy over there, except it wasn't a Timberwolf anymore. Then I got shot from another enemy, Orion. I engaged instinctively, and that was a mistake. I have lured myself into their trap. At this point, I should have made a decision to go after the Nova. That was my only chance of escape, and I could not take it. I did not see it soon enough. And so, I was killed by the very Nova that I was planning on killing. Yeah. Irony sucks. But I gotta say, this is a pretty decent build. It did really good, so the skill tree really worked for me on this. Now, for thrills, I'm going to let the match finish out, but even though we were winning and everything was going perfect, somebody fucked up somewhere. And from there, it was all over. Me and the guy that killed me have almost identical match scores. I had 2 kills with 3 assists and 568 damage. He had 2 kills, 7 assists, and 480 damage. And he also had a fraction of my ping. But this also goes to tell us that match score is dictated by quite a bit more these days, because there are people with very close damage scores or superior damage scores and nowhere near the same amount of match score. So things changed a little bit, and this is on a skirmish. I'm interested to find out what match scores are based on now. Anyway, this is Conniving signing out.